Before the United States of America, there were 13 colonies, loyal to the British Crown. But by the end of the 18th century, that loyalty would turn to rebellion, and rebellion to revolution. It began not with bullets, but with taxes. After the costly French and Indian War, Britain sought to make the colonies pay their share through the Stamp Act, Tea Act, and Townshend Acts. No taxation without representation. The cry echoed from Boston to Virginia. Colonists believed it unjust to be taxed by a parliament where they had no voice. On a cold December night in 1773, patriots disguised as Mohawk Indians boarded British ships and dumped 342 chests of tea into Boston Harbor, the Boston Tea Party. Britain struck back with the intolerable acts, punishing Massachusetts and tightening control. But instead of fear, it ignited unity. April 19, 1775. British troops marched to seize weapons in Concord. Local militia, the Minutemen, stood in their path at Lexington. "Stand your ground. Don't fire unless fired upon." A single shot rang out, the shot heard round the world. The American Revolution had begun. In July 1776, delegates met in Philadelphia. They debated, argued, and finally agreed. The colonies would break free from Britain. "We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal." On July 4th, the Declaration of Independence was signed, a bold promise of liberty. The war raged for 8 brutal years. Bunker Hill proved the colonists would fight with courage. At Trenton, Washington crossed the icy Delaware to surprise the enemy. At Valley Forge, his army nearly froze but never broke. The harder the conflict, the more glorious the triumph. The Patriots fought not just for land, but for the right to govern themselves. Victory seemed distant until the French joined the fight in 1778. Their navy, soldiers, and supplies turned the tide. The Revolution was no longer a rebellion. It was a world war. 1781. Yorktown, Virginia. British General Cornwallis found himself surrounded by Washington on land and the French fleet by sea. After weeks of bombardment, he surrendered. The war was over. Freedom had been won. In 1783, the Treaty of Paris recognized the United States of America as a free and independent nation. From farmers and blacksmiths to generals and dreamers, a new idea was born, that liberty was worth fighting for. The American Revolution was more than a war. It was the birth of a new world. A world where the power belonged not to king, but to the people. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe for more history stories.